No one feels comfortable with someone looking over their shoulder. Hello world and welcome to CyberGate Studio. Today, we're gonna talk about private VPN service, specifically NordVPN. This is a review of that service. I've been using it for probably a little over a month now, and full disclosure, they did provide it. They provided a 1-year subscription for me to be able to test out and then to do this video with, as well as a affiliate link, but otherwise, there is no clear instructions. There is nothing that said, hey, you have to give us this comment or that comment, or, you know, I got the freedom to be able to say what I honestly thought, and I will do that in this video. So if you're looking for a private VPN service, which I really think you should, I actually made a whole video on why you should be using a VPN service. I'll put a link of that down in the description. So first, let's talk about the specs. Like, first off, this is my account, right? I logged into my account, and I see a big banner that says dedicated IP address. Now, the cool thing about the dedicated IP address is that if you have a server at home or something and you want that information to not be part of your public IP address, but rather kind of be more anonymous, you can get a dedicated IP address. But I just thought that was a really cool feature. I really wanted to kind of put out there because to me, that's, I don't know, that stands out. Now, this is a VPN service, but they also have a proxy service. So you can put a browser extension that will use a proxy, and that's part of your NordVPN subscription. Come over here to downloads. You can download your the different versions here. So you can see there's Linux set up, there's a Mac OS, which is what I'm running a Mac right now. So it has multiple platforms that you can use it with. You even have open source VPN client software, but it does use, as far as the encryption is concerned, it does use military grade encryption types. So like things like what is it, IKEv2 or IPsec protocols, the OpenVPN, you know, stuff that while they do offer double data encryption to increase your anonymity, you don't necessarily need it because just the encryption type they use is already military spec. So if I were to come in here and say NordVPN, let's go ahead and minimize this. Okay, so this is the interface. It's extremely easy to use. This is the desktop interface. I can show you the app interface, but it's basically the same thing. You know, I'm in the United States here, so there's a server here that we can use. It's nice and central. If you're in Canada, there's a server. And you can kind of click and drag around and look for where you want to be. However, there's also a country list to show you all the different countries that they have available to you. So that it, like, you know, I'm in the US, but let's say I want to watch, you know, Doctor Who on BBC, and that is available in the United Kingdom. So I go and I look at the United Kingdom. Hello. Ah, that's right. So you have to be able to add NordVPN into your keychain so that it can set up a VPN. There's some permissions you have to give it naturally, just as you would any other VPN service, but so now I am connected to the United Kingdom. The important part about this is if I come back here to my browser and I come over here to a DNS leak test, okay. As you can see here, a VPN tunnel should show straight to the VPN service and go out to the internet. So you have the DNS server connected to the VPN service, and that connects to the internet. And it is a simplified, you know, world here. A DNS leak would show that it'd show your ISP's information, and that the ISP's DNS is being pinged to be able to show where you're going and where you originated from. So that's not good. Let's look and see. So I am not from London, and this is what I am showing as my IP address, but it changes. And so a cool way to see that is if I come over here and I want to now go to Costa Rica, there we go. So now I'm connected to Costa Rica. Now if I rerun that, now I'm in Costa Rica with an entirely different IP address. And so this is the kind of thing, you can run a test and see clearly one server was found. If you want an extended test, this tests again, like I said, with for IP leaks. And so all these different tests, it is only finding this Costa Rica one IP address. That is very good, that means that this is not leaking your personal IP address to your house. NordVPN does allow for things like Onion browsers to go through their network. It also allows for unlimited bandwidth. So, depending on your internet speed, it's not going to limit you as to what kind of speeds you will be getting. They won't impose limits. They also won't impose data caps, so you can continue. There's peer-to-peer sharing, so things like BitTorrenting to be able to download from those kinds of things. Some of the options here, you have your IP address is hidden, so you can have it to where it connects on start. Kill switch means that if I lose connection to, for example, right here, I'm connected to Hong Kong. If I lost connection to this VPN server, it'll cut all internet traffic so that I don't accidentally leak my IP address or DNS. Some of the advanced settings are things like start up your on boot, enable notifications. You can choose where the app icon is and the system of measurement. So those aren't super advanced features, but those are more, I guess, non-standard maybe. You can select favorite servers and sign out and stuff. So this is an incredibly easy, there's actually an activity log that is on your box. Now, one of the really important things is that they don't log your activity in another location, like on their servers. They are actually based in Panama. If for some reason the US or any other country decided, hey, I want to see this information, because they're based in Panama, and Panama doesn't have any legal legislation for that to happen, they don't have to give anything. That's definitely a pro here, a very strong, in my opinion, a very strong thing. The data logging is kind of the most important part. The whole point of, one of the major points of this is protection against things like man-in-the-middle attacks and whatnot, but it also protects you from what is essentially the ultimate legal man-in-the-middle attack, which is your ISP. If your VPN service logs your activity, then there's really kind of no point. And fortunately, NordVPN does not log your content. For the speed tests, I ran speed tests on multiple different networks between Starbucks, my in-laws' house, my parents' house, 2 different hotels, on my phone on 3G or 4G, on my tablet, at my house, obviously. So several different versions or several different scenarios that you'd potentially use them in. But at home, this is what I experienced. And the experience was very similar throughout all the different options. The very first time I connected, I had a pretty drastic performance loss, but then after that first time, it was almost negligible. I mean, it really depends on the base internet speed. So at home, I get a 92.3 megabit per second download. That fluctuates a little bit. When I go for a VPN, the very first time I did it, it was like 20. Still a pretty decent upload speed, but the 20 was very slow, and I was pretty much not happy. I actually got really nervous at first because it was the first time I ran the speed test. Again, the first time I connected, it was the first thing I did was I ran the speed test. So I was like, what happened here? Well, then I ran it again, and I found that every time after, it was roughly around this type of performance. I saw maybe around 10% drop in speed. Now, when I went on to other things, the only times I really found that the connection was spotty or otherwise unstable was when I found that it was usually on 4G. I have Sprint, and so I would go between cell towers, and sometimes that would block things. Sprint has a hard time with that. That's just something I know the network struggles with, being a user. So I don't actually think it's NordVPN's issue. I think it's more Sprint's issue, but that's just one of the things I found. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is it was actually incredibly stable. So the really cool thing is that the setup is incredibly easy. So once you sign up, you get an email that gives you 3 steps, and it really is that easy. You click the download button, it goes to that page I showed you. You enter your account credentials into the installed application. You press the on button. You may have to give permissions to your device to add a VPN, but otherwise, I mean, it is just that easy. They also have several tutorials in case you run into issues, you have a more complicated setup. And another cool thing that they do is they send you security tip emails. Because this is the business they're in, is providing security and anonymity to you as the user. Now, in my opinion, VPN, a private VPN service, is the foundation of your private anonymity, internet traffic awareness or security. So with that being said, I use NordVPN. I use it all the time, especially when I travel. I will continue to use it, especially again when I travel. When this service is up, I will tell you that I'm convinced as far as a user, when I use a VPN service, I intend to use NordVPN. And they did give me an affiliate link, so if you agree with my assessment and you want to use NordVPN, go ahead and hit the link below. That'll help my channel a lot and I'll really appreciate it. If you found this video useful, hit that like button, comment down below and let me know what you think. If you use a different VPN service, if you found that you had different experiences with NordVPN, let me know. As far as I know, as far as I've used so far, all of their customer service has been very helpful, but at the same time, you know, I have an affiliate link with them and stuff, so I don't know if I got the full experience of that. But from what I found, you know, their email support is very helpful. So if you want more videos like this, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.